Enjoy, but before, just make sure you've got plenty liquid in your e-cig.
Fifth area, nicotine-containing products, electronic cigarettes. We propose to subject nicotine-containing products, electronic cigarettes, to pharmaceutical legislation.
E-cigarettes. These are new on the market since the last directive, of course, since 2001. The Commission has made its proposal, which would mean that most e-cigarettes would have to be authorised as medicines. I've asked the European Parliament to pull together a study on all the evidence on this. And so, again, my inclination is that we do need to regulate e-cigarettes. Many public health officials think they can be useful for people to reduce the amount of smoking cigarettes, but they must be of at least quality standards. We've had 9 RAPEX alerts about e-cigarettes in the last year. We had some where there was no nicotine in the product at all, some where there was more nicotine than there should be. So the United States is currently developing its own laws on e-cigarettes at the moment. So we do need to regulate e-cigarettes, and again, I look forward to hearing from colleagues.
I don't want to say too much on e-cigarettes at the moment. There are convincing arguments on both sides. I need some time to think about that and see what's important.
Electronic cigarettes, a very important point, which we didn't talk about 10 years ago at all, and now we need to. They didn't exist then. So you can see industry is being highly innovative here. But I would like the Commission to be severe when it drafts its Article 18. It's very important that we ensure the health of dosages, but at the same time we have to be in sync with reality. So perhaps I can look further at the question of thresholds. I'm concluding, Chairman. I think it's vital here and now that we in fact are in sync with reality, and in particular that we do prevent a situation where over the long term, the industry actually manages to sell more electronic cigarettes to young people, which is something that we should be preventing. Not everything is covered here. I think the basics are, though, and I'll stop there now. Thank you.
Now, I've received emails from lobbyists for e-cigarettes. In this area, I think it's very important to strike a balance. E-cigarettes should be used as a support to stop smoking, but e-cigarettes shouldn't be used as a new channel to develop an addiction to nicotine, especially among young people. So I think that there should be a limit on the amount of nicotine, and if it goes over, it should be a medical product.
In relation to the nicotine-containing products such as e-cigarettes, there is evidence in the UK from the National Institute of Clinical Excellence and from ASH, which is an anti-smoking charity, that they can act as a form of harm reduction. I think they clearly do need to be regulated, but I'm not sure if going a whole hog for a pharmaceutical marketing authorization is the best way forward. We need to make sure that they are not attractive to non-smokers and that we do not renormalise smoking. So we could perhaps look at restrictions on advertising and promotion, and perhaps member states might want to ban them in public places as cigarettes are banned. And I would also like to see minimum age restrictions for these nicotine-containing products in line with the member states' restrictions for tobacco, and perhaps warnings, something like may damage your health, because right now we are not sure about that. Thank you.
E-cigarettes, the European Commission should say, well, there should be scientific studies that should frame this type of product in a better way. In some member states, this is considered as cigarettes, and in other member states, they're considered as a medical device. And so we need to have more information.
Karl-Heinz Florenz mentioned e-cigarettes and these steam apparatus. Here we're talking about a tobacco product directive. I'm not sure whether the product is properly categorized in this directive. Perhaps the Commission can say something about this. I heard in recent weeks that many ex-smokers are in this category rather than young people. The tobacco industry obviously has a massive interest in this product being removed from the market as quickly as possible. I mean, is it a product ban, question to the Commission, or is it going to be a product ban? It's not really clear to me, but Linda said that there's going to be a study commissioned, and I think many colleagues are saying the same thing. It's about a commercial interest, but there are questions surrounding this. So it was a very good debate.
Electronic cigarettes, I think a point that was made by many colleagues. Why is this under the Tobacco Products Directive? Well, the nicotine in the electronic cigarettes is gained from tobacco. It is a substitution product for tobacco, so we feel that actually it belongs into this directive. There are currently a lot of safety concerns. That's why we need to act. Linda McEvan has pointed to the RAPEX alerts, and this is really a big concern. Children could die if they drink the cartridge of the nicotine. The real problem with electronic cigarettes is that maybe in the past it was a means that was only taken by established smokers who wanted to get rid of it. But nowadays we see a trend that this develops into a lifestyle product. And that is a big problem. You are probably all aware of the Hungarian study. In May 2012, 13 to 15% of the Hungarian youngsters have used electronic cigarettes, many of those non-smokers. The substance nicotine is addictive, and they would also become addictive and then maybe switch to from electronic cigarettes to real cigarettes, which would be devastating. A similar study in Poland says 20% of the Polish youngsters have experimented with electronic cigarettes. Last point, we do not want to see electronic cigarettes disappearing from the market. To the contrary, if this is an effective means to regulate, to help smokers to get away from smoking, well, we should support that. But we just feel it should be under a regulated and safe environment. And the safe environment, an established regulatory framework for us, is the pharma legislation. This would also ensure a level playing field for the nicotine replacement therapies. They have to undergo pharmaceutical authorizations. It's just a question of administering the product, how you get the nicotine. That's the only difference between an electronic cigarette, a spray, and a patch.
Thank you, colleagues, for most people seem to be supporting the legislation. There are some questions we need to resolve. I can see that the e-cigarettes, we need a thorough debate, and we need to hear experts, because we want to get the right kind of regulation on these products. We have our studies, so maybe we should organise, maybe I'll organise a workshop or something for colleagues to come on the e-cigarettes.